I hope you're having a sunny morning wherever you are. We are in the Bay Area. I think temperature is 72 degrees. It's going to be today. And I know you're ready for Vinny and Beau Show, just like we come every week, 9:30 sharp. Please put the notification on, put the alarm. I mean, just reoccur it for the whole weekly show, for the whole year, or for whole life. It's up to you. Well, anyway, hey, this is Vinny Chopra. I'm here in the Bay Area, right here in Blackhawk. It's been exciting coming out and doing this show for about 2 years now, almost. Actually, I started with a syndication show, went into a different format, then we joined together, Bo and I. Bo is from the Bay Area also. Many of you know him, and he just recently moved to Henderson, actually, Nevada, right there. Got married, and just proud to have him as a friend and also business associate, and we do a lot of things together. So we're going to have a great show today for you. As you know, this show is for about financial freedom. How many of you want financial freedom? Tell us. Everybody wants it, but how many of you really want it? That's the key. That's the number one thing. To have the wise, to have the gumption, to leave that W2 job or keep on doing what you're doing, and plus start that company, be that entrepreneur, invest in real estate. We talk about real estate because millionaires, billionaires are formed all around the world, in real estate. And we talk about multifamily because single family, wholesaling, flipping, everything is awesome. But if you want to scale up and get to that point where you can travel anywhere you want to, have the lifestyle you want to, it's in real estate and it's in multifamily. That's what we talk about. Also, to buy multifamily, what do you need? You need a little bit net worth. You need some cash, but you need to qualify for loan. That's why my partner, the number one in the country, right here with Bo Eckstein, he came and gave such great teachings at my mastermind this past Wednesday. I mean, we're going to talk about that today. The HUD loans. Guys, HUD loans, I used to think it's going to take 1 year to complete transaction. Not anymore. 90 days, 120 days, you can get that loan at 2.75%, 2.85%, even for construction, 2.5%. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I have to jump up because he's gotten me so excited about refinancing, about a lot of things. Actually, the place where we live right here, Bo is the guy who really represented me. And, he's also given me $8.5 million loan that closed in 15 days. If you're looking for some hard money with little points here and there, I know with COVID now, the interest rates might have gone up, but don't worry. But if you want a closing, you're in a bind, call Bo, my buddy right here. If you want to learn about multifamily syndication, you want to invest passively, you want to buy hotels with me, or go into senior assisted living, into ground up apartments. We're going to talk about that. Actually, I'm starting a new division of the company, not only in assisted living, but also building multifamily from scratch. And that's going to be exciting. So we have a great guest speaker. I want to introduce you to a great friend of mine, Mike Fritz. He's right here. And a little bit about Mike. I came to know him few months back and so forth. And just a tremendous. Mike and Leanne have touched my heart. They're in my academy, but they are so successful already. And I want to kind of introduce Mike, and we're going to get into his life and his world and all the good things that he has done. Mike is a national collegiate leadership speaker and the author of 5 collegiate best-selling books. He has spoken to over 250,000 guys, students and faculty, giving them tools and strategies to take their leadership to the next level. Mike started investing in real estate 21 years ago when he built his first multifamily property. built it from ground up. Since then, Mike and his wife Leanne have amassed millions of dollars in personal real estate. Mike has an unmatched passion for real estate because it provides him and Leanne with the amazing opportunity to create generational wealth. That's what we are talking about. That's what this show is about, you know. And then great opportunities for their investors, and giving the families more time together. That's the key thing. Freedom. That's what we really want to do all these things, so that we can have that freedom to do whatever we want, wherever we want, whenever we want, and do it with the family, together. Mike believes passive income through multifamily real estate investing provides the most powerful thing in the world: time and freedom. Mike also recently founded Power Up Real Estate. Power Up Real Estate. We're going to dig into that a lot more. And investing, coaching, business helping people break the 9 to 5, that W2 job, that something that we always want to do better than that W2 job. uh, Passive incomes and so forth, replace their income and live the life of their dreams. Mike's greatest passion is people. He's a people person. As a serial entrepreneur for most of his life, he has sought to center his business around the amount of value he could add to his clients and partners. That's the energy and passion that runs TCI and the Power Up Real Estate. Mike, welcome, buddy. Welcome to the show.
Thank you
We
so
are
much. It's
excited
such
to
a
dig into your background, the things you have been doing and empowering people. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for having me. Yeah, my passion for real estate started a long time ago, but my wife and I really love to help people, as you both do, and both have helped us already continue to create passive investing opportunities and continue to create freedom. And that's what real estate's about, right?
It's totally about that. It's totally about that. It's the thing that I mean, I say right now also, and I have Youth Academy where it's always free and it will be free. I'm going to expand on it. That 14 years of age, anybody listening to me, if you have your son or daughter 14 years of age or more, they should start and become an entrepreneur. That's the age
Absolutely.
that you can really dig in and have them form a small LLC or a business. You don't even have to form an LLC, but have a name of the business, and then start a bank account and have a savings account where I teach in my academy, where give them the aspiration to really become an entrepreneur. That's something we never teach in the school, in the junior high school. And my goal in life is to teach so many millions of people to really learn that technique and get into saving money and earning money and doing jobs and helping out parents, and parents can pay them legally, as after I think 14 years of age. Please check your attorney and CPA. I'm not one. I'm just kind of sharing you my thoughts. But the key thing is to let them really get into empowerment, so that they can think about, as a business person at a young age, they would do so well. And let them get interested to save money and get their duplex or triplex at the age of 19 and 20 and 21.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what we did. So when I was, Leanne and I got married really young. And, but when we were 20 years old, we got married at 20. We moved into a little 2 bedroom apartment for $450 a month. And I think that included our utilities. And so we moved into a small little apartment. And even way back then, I had my dad and mom help me get a loan. And I owned a construction company when we got married. And we built a duplex, brand new, and we lived in half and rented the other half out, and we lived for $150 a month in a brand new place. And
Oh, wow.
so and that was, they call that house hacking. If you've never heard that term, they call that house hacking, and you live in one of your units, and we rented the other one out. And then I stepped foot on a college campus and went to college later on in my life at age 25. So I'm really a weird duck. But at 22, we sold that property. We built that property for $112,000, We sold that property in 12 months for $185,000.
Wow.
And so for us at 21 years old or 22, I think we were 22 when we actually signed the closing documents, 22 years old to sell a property for $70,000, $72,000 of equity, that almost paid for my college. That paid for most of my college education. And so real estate to me is such a powerful thing to get into. And it doesn't have to be the 50 unit apartment building to start, right? Start where you can. And
Yeah.
then obviously get of course we all want to scale. That's where we're headed, is moving to the bigger stuff, especially like Vinny does and like Beau does. And so,
No, thank
but
you.
yeah, that's how we got started. That's how we got started small. And people, the go big or go home isn't really my philosophy. It's start where you can, but always look to go to the next level, right? And so you want to keep leveling up. And then we've
You're,
been able
you're
to do
so right about it, Mike. I mean, many of people, those who know me, I had a humble beginning in single family homes all over different states and all that. 14 years back, I just took a big turn into multifamily. My first multifamily took me 11 months to buy it, 14 units for $180,000. 14 units for 180, and I'm so proud and humbled that last year with my partner and I, we bought $52 million deal from
wow.
180,000 to 52 million in June, and then we bought 35 million in the heels of it again. So 87 million we bought just in 5 months last year, and we are doing underwriting right now. And I'm just so fired up that we're going to, even after COVID lifts up, people can really get depressed, with the COVID and everything happening, all bad things, and why us and everything. But there are people who just say, hey, it's here. Let's take it on the chin. Let's find out what I can do with it. And let's just emerge out of it like a new person, new family, new enterprise, new vigor, new everything. Right, Bo? How you
That's
doing,
right.
bud? How
I'm
are
doing.
you? Sorry, I wanted to bring you into the loop, right? I got so fired up. Actually, Mike and I just did a podcast just before this. I was so pumped up, and you got to see Mike Fritz podcast. We're going to put some link also, right, John, if you can, so that we can push people to have Mike, come. All right, Bo, how is everything, bud?
Things are going well. I'm on a new diet. Been on it for 19 days. I haven't put any sugar in my body
Yeah.
whatsoever. No carbs, no starch, nothing. Basically, I'm doing what they call a carnivore diet, and
Ah,
I've it's amazing what your body just starts transforming. So you have to adapt to your body has to adapt to running off of basically like I eat red meat is what I eat,
oh,
but
wow. Mm,
it's made a huge difference. So I haven't missed a day of working out in probably I think I missed one day in the last 90 days that I
wow.
every day, every morning. So it's been pretty good. And then so I don't really mind the COVID. Because I work out of my house now mostly anyway. So
Yep.
um, the only thing I do miss is going to the gym because I like going to the gym and
Yeah.
the energy there. But other than
Absolutely.
that, I think what people are finding is that um, a lot of people are more productive working from their home. Even these W-2 employees, right? These tech people that are working for Twitter and stuff. They're finding they're being more productive working from home. So we'll see that as more of a shift coming up, I think, in the future. So it'll be interesting to see the changes, right? And like how the growth of Amazon is going to keep propelling. I mean, Amazon's so dialed in nowadays. If I shop at Whole Foods a lot, even though it's a little
Mhm.
bit more expensive, I just like their produce and their but obviously it's owned by Amazon now and their delivery services. I mean, I've been going I was never using Amazon until COVID, and
Mhm.
I made about 45 orders in the last 3 months. So
Wow.
Yeah.
I just think about that from like you know, Amazon is opening distribution centers everywhere. So it's just interesting to follow these businesses right now to see what's really, happening. And everybody's, negative or they're pro, like, hey, the market's not going to, single family homes are going to keep their value. Some people think that we're going to have you know, there's going to be a price drop. But at the end of the day, the one thing I do know is that we have a shortage of housing and rental units,
Yep.
on a national scale, typically
Mhm.
in most markets. So, um, if you look at it from a longer term perspective, maybe we do have a year or two of a little bit of challenge, but I think long term, it's, these are the times to really buy more assets when
Sure.
people are
Absolutely.
on the sidelines.
So
I
true,
could not
Mike. Do
agree.
you
I could
agree
not.
with that? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I have a couple things. So I've been thinking about this a lot. I could not agree more. In fact, I'm about to drop a video on my YouTube channel of 5 reasons why I think you should buy right now. And
Mm-hmm.
the reason is because I've never waited to buy real estate and been thankful that I waited, first of all. But
Yeah.
second of all, just as Bo said, we've got the biggest unemployment rate that we've had since the Great Depression right now. Everybody knows that. Now that number will go down as companies start reopening and the government starts reopening things and
Right.
more businesses come back. Now they probably won't bring all of those employees back, but here's what's going to happen. You have companies like Bo said, like Amazon, that are going to be absorbing a lot of that unemployment rate because they're growing at such a rapid rate. We're going to see those people come and work for companies like that. And so I think Amazon's going to absorb a lot of that. And even if real estate stays or goes down, it's interesting. I hear real estate investors all the time. For the last 10 years, they're saying, I'm waiting for that next recession. Well, now it's here and everybody's freaking out. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I thought this was what we were waiting for, right? To see a blip in the radar so that we could come in and buy. But I actually think, as Bo and Vinny both said, we have over 3 million home shortage in
Yes.
relationship to our buyer pool right now. Now, if that buyer pool goes down a little bit because of people losing their jobs, if that buyer pool goes down a little bit, housing prices may dip a little bit. But
Mhm.
again, the people that do have jobs, they're still motivated sellers. In fact, we have a house that is going to hit the market in Lansing. They're projecting that will be on the market for like 48 hours. I mean, it's just gonna go like that because so many people are like, you know what? I've talked to real estate agents in the area. I've talked to other real estate agents in Michigan, which is where the property is, and they're like, we're not seeing houses stay on the market even in virtual showings. So I don't think we're going to see as much. If we do see foreclosures hit because they've put the foreclosure hold, I think it will be in 2021. We'll see some foreclosures start to hit the market, but I don't think that we'll see as big of a dip as people think we will. But I do think we will see a shift. Now, a big shift in, like you just mentioned, people working from home and people
Yes.
maybe companies saying, um, I don't know that we have to have 100 employees. Could we do the same with 80? And then that's going to create a 20 employee gap that might be absorbed by another company that's expanding, like an Amazon. And so I think some of that kind of stuff is going to happen. That's at least my projection for now. But I do think that buying right now is a great time to get in on this market. There are deals. Get in and start acquiring assets. I could not agree more.
So true, Mike. Thanks for sharing your views. You bet. Let's just kind of go back a little bit, if you don't mind. We love to.
Yeah.
We are so glad you are on the show. I know you have done so much empowerment, and you've given speeches in leadership. Kind of tell us, how you got started in it, and
Sure.
how your life has changed, and you have changed, so many thousands of people's lives.
Yeah, so about 7 years ago, I went on the road full time. I was speaking a little bit at local churches and little outreach groups, and then I went full time and started speaking um, to colleges and universities, all on the topic of leadership. And then that kind of switched over to student engagement. How do we engage people and keep them
Hmm.
engaged? And then in the corporate world, employee engagement. How do we engage our employees, engage our
Hmm.
teams so they stay engaged? And so for the last 8 years, I've been on planes and in hotels, traveling around the country speaking, and I love doing it. But one of the things Leanne and I did with that is we said, we're going to build companies, but we're also going to invest in real estate, right? And so,
Yeah.
but the way I got into that is I love to speak. I'm a former pastor and a minister, so I used to in my local church used to help people, and that's just my story. And I love helping people, and that launched into some local speaking, and then statewide speaking, and then grew into a national platform, a company I own called Engage Now International, and it specifically partners with colleges, universities, and helps them. And especially right now in this COVID pandemic, when schools aren't
Mm.
able to meet physically, how do we keep students engaged and keep them
Yeah.
retained and keep people engaged in the process? And so
Mhm.
that's part of the story of what's led me on the road for the last almost decade.
Awesome. Awesome. Wow. Wow. That's very, very, very exciting to hear that. And, the key thing is, like you just said, engage now international. I love it. So, how can, viewers, if they want to get more information on that, Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, sure. So you can always email me at mike@engagenowint.com, mike@engagenowint.com, or you can visit my website, my leadership website, my student engagement website is engagenowint.com. Or you can also connect with me at titaniumcapitalhq.com, which is our investment company, where we invest in real estate, obviously. And so you can connect with me at either of those places. Tune into I own a real estate investing coaching company called Power Up Real Estate. We're on YouTube, and our podcast launches June 1st. Vinny was just on our podcast, just interviewed Vinny today, actually, and that will be coming out later in June. And but we interview a expert every single week. And Beau, I'm sure we'll get Beau on there at some point whenever Beau's time schedule frees up. And we have an expert on there every week on investing A to Z. This with Vinny, it's how to raise money. Other investors, it might be how to buy multifamily or buy flip houses or different forms of real estate, because everybody's at a different stage. And so that brand really helps real estate investors scale.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. No, I'm very tickled. I think this is, you're at the right frame. Especially, we just talked about how people will be able to spend more time. I really see that, as people are given the choice, like Google, I think I heard, and Facebook. I'm in the Silicon Valley right here, right? Near to Silicon Valley. A lot of them are saying, hey, you can work remotely because these companies have seen the productivity go higher. As a matter of fact, people are not driving 2 hours to get to the office. Then they are so tired, and then they are rushing back again 1.5 hour going back home. So that 2.5, 3 hour extra, lot of people will be able to utilize that time for the good of their health. They can, exercise. They could do miracle morning, like I say, things like that. They will really be able to spend time with the family more, with their kids more. I mean, we will come out of this whole COVID-19 as new family, new frame, new things. I just came across, I think it's called Hub Work or something. There is a company in Indianapolis. Hold on. That's where Beau has been making his
No,
mark.
no. Mike and I are in South Bend. South Bend.
South Bend,
South
South
Bend.
Bend.
South
Okay,
Bend.
all
Yeah,
righty, I
that's right.
got it. I know some families there actually. My very good Carl family. Oh my gosh, what was their last name? I will remember. But they live in South Bend too. But the key thing is, I mean, this is now a software somebody designed in Indianapolis where you just download the software and it monitors the workers. Hold on. Not taking pictures or anything or cameras, but the software monitors all their productivity and their work, and it logs it and everything. So lot more great things will happen because of this adversity. And that's why I've been a very positive person all my life. But the key thing is that we need to be a realist, and we need to really make sure, what can we do with the life, with the time we have. Time is the most precious commodity.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
they use that. I've hired VAs before, mostly in the Philippines, and they have this software that you can actually go and see their screen whenever you want, so you can see them.
Yes.
I mean, and that's the other thing. Before I got on this call with you guys, this show, I was on Fiverr hiring people to do different things, right? So
Okay.
I mean, like, we're in a gig economy world, and as entrepreneurs and self-employed people, the more you can outsource, it's just so powerful. It's so powerful. I mean, you could outsource lead generation now. You could outsource if you're you could outsource telemarketers. I mean,
Mhm.
everything can be outsourced now. So you just got to figure out what works, and then press forward with that. Whatever
So,
component.
so true, Bo. I mean, at one time I had, I think, 6 or 8, virtual assistants all over the globe: Nigeria to Australia to Canada to India to Pakistan, definitely, and then Bangladesh, and also in Jamaica out of anywhere. My transcriber was in Jamaica. She was a house mom, right, with two kids, and she would do the transcription of my lectures, and very nicely so. So you're so right. I mean, this world is such a melting pot. And you know what? And the good part is when we are helping other people, it's good money for them in their economy. It's not that they're making $7 an hour. Is it, sufficient or not? It's a wonderful way to really build other people. And a lot of these freelancers, just to say everybody, fiverr.com, fiverr.com, it started by everybody putting their service for $5. Hold on. That's what it was. I'll build your website for $5. I'll do this for $5. I'll do that for $5. So that's why the name came out. Fiverr, fiverr.com. Please check that out. Upwork is another one. Upwork. I know there used to be something called, oh my gosh, Indian name. Guru.com, I think. Guru, Guru. I don't know if it's there or not. But the key thing is, you got to delegate. I mean, time is precious thing. We just talked about it. What if we can delegate the things that we are not good at? That's exactly, I always have in my desk here, prioritize. Vinny, prioritize. Mindset is number one, actually, on my card. Mindset, prioritize, delegate. I've had that for 30 years, because many times we believe we are good at this, we are good at that, we are good at this, and then you are not good at anything, right? So it's better to get professionals. Mike, have you used also, buddy? And tell us more about your business and,
Oh
how
yeah.
you have turned, done so well. Yeah.
Yeah, two questions you asked there on the Fiverr, Upwork. I've used them all. I use them all. I mean, I have contracts with people doing stuff on Fiverr right now. It's an absolutely fantastic site for building brands, and whether you're talking about Vinny stuff or of raising money and building your brand equity, or you want to be a speaker, or you want to start in real estate but you want to have a little website. Great places to get things done inexpensively. But yeah, our journey started in real estate at age of 20, and then fast forwarded, I really got back into real estate. I got out of real estate because, like I said, I went to college and was a pastor for a while. Got back into real estate when I was 32, about 8 years ago, and started investing again. And again, did the same exact thing. House hacked, bought a duplex, lived in half, then bought one of my family members was in some tax trouble, and so I bought another duplex. And then lived in one of those units and rented the other one out because I could get more money out of that other unit. And I had 4 units, and then a 3-unit came for sale. I bought that, and so we just kept building and building and building. And then we bought 23 units in South Bend, Indiana, where Beau invests as well.
Yes.
And so it's grown over the years, and now we have some flip projects with this. So we're syndicating our first apartment deal. But the whole point is all of that started with just one decision to get into real estate and get something you could get your hands around. And that's what I wanted to do. And so that's what we did. And now it's, every real estate deal looks different now because you're coming at it saying, okay, it's not what have we done, it's where are we headed, and that's where, I always love to start with end in mind. Sorry, my phone.
Totally.
You start with the end in mind. And for the end in mind for us was complete freedom. And we have as our mission, we have this as our mission statement for all of our businesses, to have the freedom to give and the freedom to live. And the freedom to give means we want to be able to do what we believe we've been called to do. And the freedom to live is we don't want anybody in our circle of influence to be in need and us not be able to help out. And so that's why we went into real estate, and that's what freedom is to us. And so investing is important for us. It's the Warren Buffett on his Facebook or his Instagram page posted something the other day of why the rich get richer and why the financial struggling don't. And it isn't this political statement. What he was saying is the rich take as much of their money as they can and they invest it, and they live on as little as they can, and the poor live on as much as they can and usually don't invest any of it. And the whole point is we wanted to invest as much as we could and still do. And that's what I would tell other people. Look for pockets in your finances where you can start, get that first property and get her going. And then, of course, get into multifamily like Vinny.
Awesome. What a mindset. I mean, what a drive, what a passion, the mission statement, like you just mentioned. Mike, what would you say to somebody who's kind of caught in that W 2 job, and driving in, driving out? Now, of course, we are locked down. What would you say to them, if they want to enter into real estate? What mind shift they need to do?
So the biggest mindset shift I see in real estate investors is real estate. A lot of people see real estate investors as real estate builds or furthers wealth rather than builds wealth. What that means is a lot of people see real estate as something that only the rich can do. And that's absolutely not true. I had zero money when I did my first property. I was 20 years old. I knew how to build, but I had zero cash, $0. And so it's not, you have to first make the mindset shift of, I'm going to get into real estate and figure this out. So you want to listen to every YouTube video you can, everything from these two guys that are interviewing me that you can. You want to get your hand on as much information. So that's first thing. Second thing is I would start with something small, maybe a 2-unit or a 3-unit, because 2 units, you provide 2 pieces of cash flow. Usually 1 unit can cover most of your expenses while the other unit can create profit. So if somebody moves out, you still have cash flow to cover your expenses throughout the course. Very rarely do both people move out. And so I would start with maybe a 2 or a 3-unit building and start there. And then if you say, okay, well, I don't have any cash. Okay, well, then you start looking at things like, do you have equity in your home, where you could take what we call a HELOC, or a home equity line of credit, take a home equity line of credit and buy a property, or put a down payment on a duplex or something like that. You could do that. Or you could, if you have what we call a SD IRA, self-directed IRA, you have money there, you can invest in real estate. So a lot of people that come to the table say, Mike, I want to invest in real estate, but I don't have any money. Well, then you start asking questions like, do you have equity in your home? Do you have an SD 401k or some 401k money, or self-directed 401k? Have you moved jobs so that money went into an SD IRA? And so can you invest some of that money? If you say, okay, no, okay, then do you know anybody who maybe could partner with you? Maybe they have money, but you're willing to go track down the information. You'll go buy the duplex and they'll put up the money and you guys will split the profit. That's another way to do it. But the point is, the first decision, you asked me, what would I do first? The first thing is I would flip the switch. And what that means is, in your mind, decide, I'm going to get a piece of real estate and I don't care what it takes. I'm not going to make a stupid decision. I'm not going to make a rash decision, but I'm going to get into real estate. So make that decision. As soon as you make that decision, then all the rest of the decisions become easy, because if you haven't made that decision, every time, should I buy this property? Well, I don't even know if I should get into real estate. Let's flip that switch first and just get that done with. And then now it's like, okay, where do I find money? And even Power Up Real Estate. Our tagline is find money, find deals. That's the 2 things of real estate, right? You got to find deals and you got to have money. Yep. And so what if you don't have both of them? That's why Beau exists, is he helps connect people to money, right? And so that they can continue to invest. And so if I'm a 9-to-5er and I work at the local factory and I'm making $18 an hour, and I'm making 32 grand, 35 grand a year, or if I'm somebody making 200-300 a year, the path is the exact same. Start with 2, 3, 4, 5-unit building and get some tenants and start generating cash. And I always say start small so you can make all your mistakes on smaller buildings, because they're less costly than when you make a mistake on like I just acquired a 23-unit portfolio. You make a mistake on a 23-unit portfolio, which I did. I hired a bad property manager. Thank goodness Beau saved my rear end by helping me find somebody that was really good. But I hired a bad property manager, and it cost me thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. I mean, thousands of dollars. So my point in saying that is, you make a mistake on a big project, it can cost you something you might not be able to lose. Yes. Make your mistakes on a small one and start growing.
And the fact is that I bought a house I don't know, maybe 10 months ago, and I swiped my Amex my credit card and bought it. True story. For $9,600, I bought it. I bought a house.
I love it.
In Indiana for 10 grand. I put in 6 grand, and now so I'm in at 15 or 16 grand, and now every single month it pays me $630 for the rest of my life.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
See,
like,
that's the beautiful thing.
I don't know.
That's the beautiful thing.
Yeah, and that's the appeal of the Midwest to me, is that I can have, I could, if I want, have 200 or 300 of those type of properties all over that are actually in decent neighborhoods and stay rented. So you don't. It doesn't have to be an overwhelming process. Like there's a difference between my $15,000 house and Vinny's $50 million. But the same principles. I could use other people's money. I could leverage money. And, there's tons of people out there that will lend me 30 or 40 grand to go acquire a duplex in Indiana, right? Because I could pay them,
Absolutely.
I could afford to pay them 10% interest, and they're happy making that 10% interest. I mean, the average,
And
yeah, the average person,
it,
yeah, the average person out there, what are they really making? The, the middle class worker might have a 401k, work 30 years, and they have a 200 grand or 150 grand in there. But, it's to get to that, from them to go from 50 to 65 to retire, they need to start getting 8 to 10% returns or higher, not 2 or 3% or 1% returns, right? So I think it's kind of an easy
exactly.
sell to, once people see what you're doing, because you're just buying cash flowing assets that cash flow debt services those payments, by 125 to 180%, right? So, uh, if I had a payment on that of $200, I'm bringing in 630 a month, right? So I could easily pay these people, and so they become your bank. And so it's just really about intellectual, like financial capital. Not you. You don't need money. Like Vinny's bought multi-million dollar properties with none of his own money because he has the skills and he knows how to manage. And he knows how to put it all together, and that's the real most powerful. Because a lot of people get stuck in their starting phase, like, oh, how do I do this? I mean, you can buy a property right now subject to existing mortgage. You don't need money. You could take over. Somebody could be, hey, I'm relocating from Indiana to Tennessee. Speaking of that, I just got a lead. Same thing. Talking about technology. This is just a lead that came in through my Investor Carrot website in Indiana. The guy wants to sell his house. So maybe I buy it subject to the existing mortgage, right? Or maybe he seller finances it. Maybe I can add solutions. So the more tools, we educate. That's why I'm in Vinny's program, because I don't, as an syndicator, I'm not fully confident in that position. So I have to get educated through something like that, right? But, it's a progression. You start with a small multifamily and you work your way up. You build stability. You build your base of cash flow that comes in. I mean, how wonderful it is. Last night I interviewed two guys, and they both have 6 figures a month coming in, net passive income. 6 figures a month. I mean, most people don't make 100 grand in a year, right? In the average. So it's just interesting. And one guy started one rental at a time, and he actually wrote a book called
Absolutely.
One Rental at a Time. So the key is to really get started. And then, but the way I look at it, for me, is I look at it, if I can get into this, those stepping stones, and I get that 100-unit building, right? And then I keep that thing pays me 30, 40 grand net every month. I mean, one of those properties alone would change the destiny of most people, right? Imagine waking up every morning
Absolutely.
with 30 or 40 grand coming in without having to do anything. To the average person, that's like complete game changer.
So
Absolutely.
true. So true.
My what to echo that, Bo, I had a 3-unit that I bought in Michigan, and this is what I want people to see. It's like, well, I don't have any money. We found somebody on Craigslist. We just were on Craigslist. By the way, it's a place to find deals. You go to Craigslist. I'm like multifamilies in multifamily units in the area I lived in, and this thing came up and pictures looked decent. So I called the guy, went and looked at it. It was a guy who was a construction worker. He had fallen off a ladder, hurt his back, couldn't work anymore. He owned the 3-unit, lived in one of the units, and was paying a land contract, which is a seller financing, to somebody else. Well, so he owned the building, but he was defaulting on his payments every month because he couldn't make any money. So we came in. He's like, will you just take over my land contract? Now, he had paid down the loan already, $25,000. He's like, I don't want to sell. I just want out of this mess. And so he wanted to walk away. He said, all I want is 6 months of free rent. So here's the creativity. We took over the loan, which was only $40,000 left on the loan. We took it over. We paid that off in a few years. That building pays us $2,000 a month. And get this, it's worth about $150,000 a day. And I didn't pay a dime out of my pocket for it, not one penny. And so when people are like, I don't have money, I can't get into real estate. No. It's the knowledge that you don't have. The money, that's one thing you need. The knowledge will help you get that. But being creative, like Bo just said, you can help create problem solve. You're a problem solver. You're not a real estate investor. That's problem one.
So true.
That's thing one. Is we solved a problem for him. And we got a 3-unit building we still have today. Oh, and by the way, I paid that off. I was able to take money out of that and buy another building. See, and that's how the snowball works. but all because I just reached out to a guy off Craigslist. And people are like, I don't know, I can't invest in real estate. Dude, if you have a cell phone and a computer, you can look on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace, you can find deals, and people are out there like that. You might have to look a little bit, but that's the point. You don't need a big pile of cash to get started.
And also too, right? Like, let's just say I find a 100-unit building that's just like, it's mismanaged, that's 70% occupancy, but it's a great play. Like, there's a huge opportunity to double that value in the next 5 years. I can get that property under contract, and because I network and I have relationships, maybe my net worth, whatever, I can't qualify. But the thing is you got a power partner, right? Like, that's something maybe I say, hey, Vinny, look at this deal. I've underwritten, I've done all the due diligence. Take a quick look. Will you be my financial friend in this deal? Will you invest with me as a joint venture partner? Right. And if it's a smoking deal, do you think Vinny's going to say, no, I don't want to do it? Right. No, he's
Yeah,
going to say,
right.
yeah,
Exactly.
I'm going to make $2 million. I'll do it. Yeah, I'll cut a check. So that's the power of why you have to engage, even if you don't feel like you have that skill set yet, and you have to develop it. The only way, I mean, Vinny's still practicing, and he doesn't need to practice anymore. There's a reason you wake up, you practice every day, because that's the only way you're gonna get better. I mean, I look at the guy we interviewed last night. He doesn't need to work either, right? 100, but he's like, no, I'm going to pay off all my loans in the next 10 years, and I'll have 250 grand a month coming in, right? I'm like, well, that's great, But these guys are out there practicing, even when they're at an expert level, because that's what keeps them going. And so I look at that like, I know a lot of shit. I know a lot of, I'm connected, but there's a long way where I need to go. And that's why, the power of masterminding, right? And getting connected with different groups, and having a lot of friends and financial friends. And that's like the way to do it. And like, I see that now more than ever, that, through like relationships and over the years, if you show your value to other people, and it's not always about give, it's a give take thing, right? Like, I don't go into every relationship expecting people are going to just give me things, but over time, when people see you're genuine, they're going to things just going to happen, right? And things are going to progress, and things just transcend, right? And so, like, Vinny and I started this show, and I wasn't thinking, oh, I'm going to get all these loans, but he's got a lot of students that need loans, right? He'll refer me people. So things happen for a reason, right? It's because you put yourself out there and you bring value to the world.
That's the key. What you're saying, Bo. I think it's the law. It's the universal law of giving. Once you spend so much, spread the energy, and the all your signals are right, and you are helping people. By helping people, you are really getting them to a new level. And you know what? They will tell so many people about it, and they will try to reciprocate. That's the universal law of reciprocity. The key thing is, don't expect anything, but build everybody, give them the best thing, give them what they need. Problem solver, what you just said, both of you. That's the name of the game. What are you solving problems at work? We are solving a lot of problems for the employer, making them rich. But we need to really solve problems with our customers, our investors, our family members, sitting down, like Mike is doing with leadership, now in real estate, Bo is doing with loans, and so many exciting things are happening. And I hope that you will take that step. We are doing this. I just want to shout out to David right there, Rosenbaum, Tim Chen, Vishal. I just saw here Shakti Call right there, Brandon Turako, nice to see you here. Shashikant Jagani, nice there. Vishay Muni, right there, and all these guys. But please do chime in. Every Friday 9:30. Every Friday 9:30. You can always reach us also. Like, my website is vinnychopra.com. Vinney Chopra.com. Usually it's scrolling at the bottom, but we could do that. Vinnychopra.com, and you could just email Vinny at vinnychopra.com, or John, Jon, at vinnychopra.com. We got Academy, we got mastermind groups. We got passive investing into multifamily. We would like to see if you are, what's the word? We will to vet you and see what your risks are, goals are, and so forth. Into assisted living, hotels that we are purchasing, multifamily, and lot more stuff. And also branding, our brand new company, Monil Digital Branding. This Monil is our brand of the companies, and we just launching a digital branding company also, where we will be having e-commerce stores, everything to do with the internet, in getting your brand built, everything like that. So those are exciting things. What else did I miss? Oh, also my new company will be also making not only assisted living, luxury, but also apartments from ground up. From ground up, we are going into the townhouses style of building ground ups, where we'll be able to sell the whole project, or we'll build it and then keep it under our own portfolio. Go ahead, Bo, buddy.
Oh, no, I like that. I like the ground up stuff, and that's a perfect for HUD, right? That's a perfect
Mhm.
high
Yes,
leverage. Yeah,
surely. Tell more about Herd if you don't mind. I know a lot of new people join us every week. So,
yeah.
uh,
I just did a great webinar on it. I'm going to give people a link to it. It's
mhm.
um it's multifamilyloans.info. Multifamilyloans.info. Go there, watch it. It's a 45-minute webinar I did on it. But they basically have they have a few different programs, but they have a acquisition and refinance product, and then they have a construction product. So it's
Mhm.
different. So the acquisition you could typically close in 90 to 120 days. The construction is a bigger process. That's usually a 7-month process for construction, or
Beautiful.
heavy rehab. But people are reaching out all over the place because they just never talked about it, and just most people just weren't talking about it. But I always say, let's line it up with an agency loan and see which makes it more sense, right? Like
Sure.
something is going to make more sense. And sometimes, if you're out there and you're looking at these, C minus properties that are 20 units, you're going to need some bridge money for that typically. And so I have bridge funding that, they'll fund up to 75% of the stabilized value, but their money is expensive, right? So, but sometimes it's cheaper than getting a partner. So we look at all the pieces, right? And we say, based on the project, what actually makes what makes the most sense, and that's the key. And what I like about what I do, it helps me in my investing side, right? Because the more I know about how money works and how to leverage, I can use that in my investing business. So
Totally, 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 Bo. No, thank you, Mike. We would like to thank you so much for bringing so much value to our audience. How can people reach you, Mike? Again, one more time. Yeah.
Thank you again, guys, both of you, for having me, and thank you for the value you guys bring to the real estate space and even to my life. And so I'm really thankful for you guys. Yeah, you guys can reach me at mike@engagenow.int.com. You can see my investing company at Titanium Capital HQ, which is where we help people invest in real estate, and also Power Up Real Estate, the YouTube channel. I drop videos there every single week, podcast every single week, Power Up Real Estate, where I just am just teaching real estate and interviewing guys like this. So you guys can connect with me there as well. And so, but this is the time, man. I'm telling you, people are so scared of COVID, but this is the time to get in real estate. There's not a better time. So let's do this.
If I may just add to that, I started my career in multifamily in the crash of 2007 and 8. My first property I bought was 14 units for $180,000. 14 units for $180,000. I only invested $1,000 of my money. And, it's the power of syndication, where my book I wrote on Amazon, many of you might have picked it up. It's called the Syndication Made Easy, apartment syndication made easy, actually. But syndication is the world where you pool money together legally, and you can buy anything. You can buy anything, flip homes, wholesale, multifamily, hotels, shopping centers. I don't know what is going to happen to those. They're going to go by the wayside now, with the e-commerce really getting there with the COVID and all. But the key thing is, you definitely want to take that step, like Mike is saying, like Bo is saying. get into multifamily now. The recession is here. I mean, the properties will be softening down. But if you're out of the ballpark and just watching, this is the time to get in the ballpark, I'll say, and step on the plate and educate and apply for mentorship in my academy. We don't take students just like that, but you can apply, and you could just text the word learn, learn to 474747. That's a great place. Or invest, invest, to 474747. But the key thing is, take that step. Take that step, because this is the time when I started 12 years back, and now we're covering almost $350 million worth of portfolio, going to be a half a billion pretty soon. Those things happen, and they don't happen overnight, but you got to take that step. Right, Bo? Right, Mike?
That's right.
Love it. Absolutely.
All right. I think we have 49 minutes into it, 50 minutes, guys. If there are any last comments, Bo, you want to share with the audience? And again, chime in next week, Friday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, because we are on the Pacific zone. And look forward to having you. Please comment, like us, share our broadcast, and also write to us. Please write to us, text us what you would like us to bring as guest speakers. Who would you like? And we like to bring different personalities on the show now, and it's going to be exciting. Thank you so much for really chiming in and giving your precious time to listen to us. Bo?
Oh,
Have a good one.
yeah, you nailed it, man. I like doing these calls because it keeps me motivated. I do a Thursday night call, and then I do this Friday morning call with you, and I tell you what, it really like if I get kind of distracted, and some days, when you're working out of the house and you just feel like it's that same routine, these calls in a selfish way keep me motivated and engaged. So I think, like, you know, this is what we need. If you're out there, jump on, listen. There's a million podcasts out there. Find people that you want to listen to and
Yeah.
listen to them. Get engaged, and then when you hear something that resonates with you, like a good idea, jump on it, right? And what's the worst case scenario? It doesn't work the way you think. Then you go and jump on something else, right? You gotta go hard though with any new investing venture. Like if you're trying a new marketing program, you can't just like go half-ass. You got to go in for it hard and then see what the results are. And then maybe, direct mail is not working right now to find off-market deals, but maybe you got to pick up the phone and make calls. But you gotta engage 100%, because that's the really where you're going to get the success. And that's what I always, tell myself. And I go, my friends that are doing it, they're actively doing it every day, and they're going hard.
So true, Bo. I don't want to say that, but again, there are two podcasts I also do, one on the syndication world and one on the motivation, over and above this show that we do on Friday. And I know Bo does also podcast, and also Mike, you have your podcast YouTube channel. So again, the key thing is there is out there. I think it's the adjustment we make, mindset, like we talked about today. Please have that mindset. If you're already moving in that direction, move faster, because great opportunities lie ahead of us. Mike, any last comments, buddy? Some leadership tips, some motivation. I
Absolutely.
know you've given so much in this talk today. I really appreciate you, bud. Yeah.
The thing of Vinny talked about getting in the game. Here's the thing: real estate is a game of action. We all know that. You have to take action. You have to get out and you have to do it, and you have to be willing. This is a good time, even if you're like, I'm not ready quite to buy yet. Okay, great. Use all this time to learn. Then get every piece of information you can, because leadership. See, the thing about leadership is, I've always said about leadership, the way you get better is be the dumbest person in every room.
Yeah.
You want to be hanging out with people that are way smarter than you. And then sooner or later, what a mentor told me is, when you're the dumbest person of every room, sooner or later you run out of rooms, because you continue to grow and develop and grow and develop. And so in the real estate space, there's so much content out there. There's no excuse, really. If I can say that, there's no excuse for not tracking down information. Google and YouTube, same company, they have lots of info. You can get anything you need. So get it done. And because I'll tell you what, next year, there's that old statement of the best time to plant an oak tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is now. And so for real estate, the best time was to buy real estate in 2010, 11, and 12. The second best time, right now. So get some real estate. I'm telling you, because real estate's a reverse gravity game. Everything else goes down. Real estate naturally goes up, right? And so it's a reverse gravity game. Real estate naturally appreciates. If it does crash, then what does it do? Starts climbing back up. It just has an attraction due north, and that's why we want to get in the real estate game.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Hey, thank you so much. You have motivated me. I'm so inspired, and thank you, Mike. Thank you, buddy. Both, thank you, guys. We'll see you next week. Chime in 9:30 Pacific. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much.
Have a good day, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.